For decades, Africa exported its wealth and imported its weakness. In 2026, as global supply chains fracture and traditional energy routes destabilize, the continent is no longer asking for leverage. It is building it. Energy sovereignty as the new African geopolitical currency. For much of modern history, African oil producers operated at the bottom of the value chain. They extracted crude, shipped it abroad, and bought it back as refined fuel at a premium. That model is now under pressure. As maritime insecurity grows and Middle Eastern supply lines face repeated disruptions, countries like Nigeria and Angola are repositioning themselves from simple resource exporters to strategic transit gatekeepers. The global logistics crisis has exposed the vulnerability of traditional energy corridors. In response, West African producers are leveraging their Atlantic geography. Unlike Persian Gulf suppliers that depend on narrow choke points, West African crude flows through more flexible and less congested routes. This advantage has strengthened their bargaining position with multinational energy companies. Rather than accepting contracts that limit them to upstream extraction, these states are pushing for higher equity stakes in joint ventures, greater control over infrastructure, and deeper participation in downstream activities. Ownership is becoming as important as output. The shift is subtle but powerful. Africa is moving from selling barrels to controlling the movement of barrels, refining power and the break from Western dependence. The most significant transformation is occurring in refining capacity. The launch of the Dangote refinery marks a structural turning point for West Africa. As one of the largest single-train refineries in the world, it allows Nigeria to process crude domestically at scale rather than exporting raw oil and importing refined products. Historically, African countries shipped crude to Europe and then repurchased petrol, diesel, and aviation fuel at higher prices. This arrangement drained foreign reserves and entrenched dependency. New mega-refineries are changing that equation by keeping value addition within the continent. The disruption of Persian Gulf supply lines has accelerated this transition. With European refiners facing supply uncertainties, African producers are increasingly prioritizing regional markets. An Africa for Africa